Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Leopard 1, the tier 10, one of the two tier 10 German medium tanks on the tech tree. It is one of the Battle Pass tanks, so you can play this tank during the Battle Pass seasons this year and get more points, and then get a higher point value cap and things and so on and so forth, along with the T110E4 and the Kranvang. And also it's on track right now if you're watching this when it's released, so all the more reason to bring up this tank. What is it? I've done a video on this before, you know, when I was pretty new to the whole making videos thing. Also talks about camo mechanics, so if you want to go watch that, it should be popping up on your screen right now. Having said that, also I do want to just kind of sneak this in here because Wargaming have, I don't know if it's been officially announced, but there's going to be a fourth chapter to the Battle Pass. It's going to come soonish, maybe in the next few weeks or whatever. Basically what this is a marathon, a little marathon for another tier 8 tank, instead of being your typical marathon where there's 10 stages and they're tying it to Battle Pass, right? So why do I bring this up? Because this is very relevant. Like right now, what you want to be doing is grind out a bunch. What I recommend to cheese this whole thing is grind out your tier 6 tanks, and get them to so that they're very close to the top, to being capped out for points on Battle Pass, right? Because once you cap a tank out, you get a bonus. I think for tier 6s, what is it? Is it 20 points? 15, 20, 25 points? Doesn't matter. It's a fair amount of points. And so what you want to do is grind your tier 6s now and get them almost finished, right? Not all the way, but like maybe 95 out of 100 points. I think it's a 100-point cap. And then leave it and don't play it again until the mission or the chapter 4 starts. Then when you're going to grind this marathon for this new tank, whatever it is, I don't know yet. And when we find out what it is, I'll let you know, and I'll make a video telling you whether it's worth your time or not. But then once that starts, then you play your tier 6s, you finish them off, and you go ahead and you just get a buttload of points immediately for very little effort. So that's the way. Start prepping now, play your tier 6s, get almost to the end of them, and then wait. That's your ticking time bomb. And then, you know, if you end up not caring about the tier 8, you can use that to finish off the rest of your Battle Pass. So anyways, there's my little nugget, and then we'll get into the stats on the Leopard 1. Okay, so the Leopard 1 is it's a paper tank, right? It's a medium tank, and it's pretty fast, and it's got no armor whatsoever. So I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but there's a lot to like about this tank. It does just about everything pretty well except getting shot. It doesn't do that very well. So the DPM is great. The alpha damage is 420, which is awesome. 420 dank damage. Penetration is good. It's a standard APCR round, so the shell velocity is really good. It's got a premium APCR round, which is also great. It's, in my opinion, very lazy game design, right? Because there's no reason not to just spam the good stuff, right? Because it's APCR. It's just straight better all the time. There's no reason not to shoot not the better stuff all the time. Standard shell velocity is great. Premium shell velocity is even better. Penetration at 323 is excellent, right? So, but basically it has a great gun, right? A standard a standard dispersion of 0.28 base is already very good, and the soft stats are very good. Like the gun just feels amazing, right? So there's that. Plenty of ammunition. Let me see here what else. The top speed is great. The power to weight is great. The terrain resistances are really good. So like it's a fast tank. It's got 9 degrees of gun depression, so it's nice and flexible. It's peppy. What else is that? It's just there's so much. It does everything really well. The camo values are decent, right? Base camo values. If you pimp this out, you can get it to pretty darn stealthy. And 410 base view range is also very, very good. That's better than almost all of the tier 10 light tanks, lol. So you don't need to work very hard to get this to 445 or higher. It's really not bad. You know, 4-man crew is fine, right? It's better than your, you know, like it's less awkward than a 3-man crew, or God forbid a 2-man crew like the Manticore. So basically everything here is good. There's nothing about any of this that is bad. The only downside, and we'll get to that right now, is the armor. There is no freaking armor, none whatsoever, just none. I will say you can get trolled. Like I have definitely shot leopards in the turret, in the mantlet, and it has not penned, and I'm not exactly sure how, but I've shot it in the mantlet. I remember specifically like 3 times premium rounds out of a Scorpion G. I shot it in the mantlet, and it didn't go in. And I think I just closed the game that day. But otherwise, you should not expect to bounce anything off of this thing ever. Like maybe like these little auto bounce things, but like no, most things you're just not going to get. You're not going to bounce things, but that's okay. The tank is still excellent. So armor, none. With regards to field mods and builds, always go for the modular durability increase because the traverse. You know what? I'm going to get into that later as to why this is always the right choice. But just for now, this is the right answer. And I'm happy to have a debate about that some other time, but like just for now, just trust me until I can make a video about it. This is the answer. Improved sight is the answer. I think I like, especially for a tank like this that can use the stealth, I'm taking anti-reflective headlight coating, your scouting setup. I am also going to pick this one here, right? So this is super broken. Like you basically are getting a free improved aiming unit equipment, right? The -5% to aiming circle size, that's an equipment, that's improved aiming. You get that for free at the cost of 3% reload, which is super dumb. Aiming speed doesn't matter, so yeah, I'm going with this, right? Always this one. So this is the equipment, or sorry, this is the build that I would always use, right? As far as field mods. Now, as far as equipment loadout, and if you watched any of my Get Good series where I talk about like leveling up, right? If your crew is not very good, let's say you're fairly new to tier 10, you don't really know what you're doing necessarily, maybe your crew's not that great, maybe you're not running food, the basic equipment loadout that I would use, of course, is, I mean, I'm always going to say to use food, but if you don't, let's just say that you don't do that, you're just running an auto fire extinguisher. Please never ever run the manual fire extinguishers. But in that case, it's a fairly vanilla, like vents, you know, optics is fine, and then a V-stab, right? This is basic, and it's effective. There's nothing wrong with this. If your crew is very good, then you can maybe swap out the vents or swap out the optics for vents, and that gets you some interesting things. Now, if you're like me and you've got a really good crew and you're willing to spam and you're willing to run food and stuff, then you can do, like, you can level up. This is a level up, right? So my equipment, and you'll see it if you go back to the first part where the tank is spinning in the garage, my equipment loadout is purple vents. Oh my god, click it. Purple vents. I think it's a purple rammer, but it's just a rammer, doesn't matter which. And then improved aiming, right? And if you have that plus your food and you've got a decent crew, what that means is you get these soft stats are good enough that this is the soft stats that you would expect on something after you put equipment on it, right? But you get this without even having equipment. And then a 0.22 dispersion is just it's amazing. Like, this is just, so basically the gun feels incredible. 0.22 dispersion is like, it's hard to describe. Like, this level of incredible was not attainable before equipment 2.0 and field mods, but now here we are. So you get 0.22 with soft stats like this. The gun just always feels aimed in all the time. And I will preface this by saying the replays that I'm going to show you, yes, there's 2 of them, they're from a very long time ago. And so, Carrie, you've probably forgotten giving this to me, but I've had these for like a year, and I think these replays are from before field mods and some of these things. So, like, the things you're going to see are not indicative of what the tank is capable now. With this loadout that I'm showing you now, the gun is even better. Everything is just that much better. But the tank's great regardless, and the replays are great. So just know that, like, what you're going to see in the replay is not even as good as it could possibly be. So just know that. And then I also have, I have an alternate loadout with when your scout just decides to not care, or like when your scout, when you don't have a scout, like say Prokhorovka, and you don't have a scout, for example, I would probably do this and optics and probably lean into it a bit and go with the low noise exhaust or the CVS. This or rearrange these. However, like if your crew doesn't have very good camo or not fully trained camo, this is where you go. If they do have camo, maybe you swap in the CVS or something like that. If they don't have the view range perks, maybe you swap the optics in the improved slot. But this is what I would do to, like, your example, if you've got the camo paint and camo if you got one of the camo skills, you're looking at almost 500 view range and 41% stationary camo. That's light tank levels of good. So this is perfectly capable of doing light tank duty when necessary. So it doesn't come up a lot, but this is my alternate because now you can have that. yeah, without further ado, we'll get into the replay. All right, in this particular game, we're going to be watching Carry rolling out in his Leopard 1. It's a tier 9 game, 2 artillery, and you can see he's not running any standard rounds because why the hell would you? There's no reason to, unless you care about credits, but you don't play tier 10 to make credits. There's just no reason. Like, it's I don't blame Carry at all for this because the premium rounds are just straight up better all the time. Like, heat rounds will get eaten by tracks. There's reasons you might not always want to shoot heat rounds, but there's no reason not to run premium ammunition all the time in the Leopard 1 because it's just straight up better all the time. So I blame Wargaming's balance department. But anyways, here we are. So Carry's going to take a pretty aggressive route into the town, with his Leopard 1, and you can see, look at the gun. Like, even now, like I said, this, like, look at how just accurate the thing, it just aims in so well, and it's fast enough you could get here and get into the town and take these early shots for free. And Carry is definitely showing us how it's done. You can go to the city in your paper medium tanks. It's just difficult. You just have to be careful and know what you're doing. I don't do it, but Carry's a much better player than I am, so I'm going to trust in Carry's ability to play the game better than me. But you can see here, he's not even spotted from this E100, so he just gets to farm and track him in the open so that hopefully an artillery can shoot. He finally did get spotted there, but again, he's able to get these shots off because the E100, everybody crossing in the field, they should be more worried about getting into cover than stopping and aiming. So Carry pretty much has free reign to just pummel this guy, and he can't. Well, now that he's tracked, he doesn't care. But like, Carry's trying to spot the ML2 coming into town again, just to provide more targets for artillery. And this E100, now that he's stopped, he's going to be aiming, right? But whoop, he lucked out there. But again, when those guys were moving, they had to worry about getting into the town more than anything else. And so Carry had free reign to go ahead and just farm. And this E100 is down 2,000 hit points, and he hasn't even made it to the city yet. So pretty frustrating. I'm sure we've all had games like that, but now he's going to be aiming at Carry again, so poking this is going to... Oh my god, that was pretty risky and pretty lucky, if I do say so myself. I don't know that I would have made that poke, but again, here we go. We're just going to get this lower plate and take the E100 out of the game. So now Carry has just done 2,000, almost 300 damage and gotten a kill. He's got one shot. He got shot one time in return, but then, like, the game isn't even, like... We're not even 3 minutes in. Like, this is pretty insane, and this is what the Leopard does, because it has great alpha, great accuracy. Everything about the gun is great. The mobility is great. He's just able to just clock shots in. I don't know how he blocked that round. He just got lucky, I guess. But this is the thing. Like, if you give a Leopard an opening, you give it 15 seconds in the middle of a field, you could just get mowed down, right? And so Carry's just been plugging away, keeping these guys tracked, keeping them from being able to do anything. And now we're at 4,000 damage and 2 kills, and we're not even 4 minutes in. This is just, it's pretty incredible. And this is, again, this just demonstrates the power of the Leopard. It doesn't take hits very well, although lucky, you know, Carry got lucky taking that one hit for, like, you know, for blocking the one shot from the ML2. But otherwise, it does everything really well. It's fast, it's accurate, it's pure German comfort. That's probably going to be the name of the video, because that's the best way I can describe it. It spots. Look at that. Carry's just spotting this other Leopard. What do you... I mean, that guy's just sitting there getting pummeled by Carry's team, and Carry's spotting and tracking it. I mean, this just goes to show, if you know what you're doing and you're in the city in a lightly armored tank, you can still own, right? Like, he took the shot, and so he might as well just sit and aim, right? But now that you see our teammate needs some help, so Carry's going to get in here and lend his gun, right, and make this a 1v2. Before, this was a 1v1, and that Panzer 7 was probably going to have a hard time. Carry gets in here and makes it as 2v1. So this is what you do in your paper tanks. You can be close-in support, right? This is the exact same way you might play it. Oh, okay, now this is bad. Now this is bad, since our buddy has left, our buddy has died. So now you probably want to leave. This is Carry, I think, is getting ready to shoot and scoot. He's going to try to get in there and, you know, be helpful, try to get maybe one more shot in, but no, he decides we're done here. But this is how you can play a variety of paper tanks. You know, they don't always have to snipe. You can just... Oh, that guy's... The 277 was over-angling, right? But this is what you can do. You can pre-aim corners. You can turn it from a 1v1 into a 2v1. You can just... Being close by your heavy tanks provides you with a lot of ability to do work. And because Carry is here, He's able to, you know, we're already almost at 6,000 damage already and 3 kills. All in the city, right? So this is just an example. Now, depending on what that Object 430 on our team does, we could probably help him as well with this 277, because then it becomes a 2v1. Unfortunately, the 430 gets tagged by a shit barn somewhere, so now it is time to leave, right? Because what you don't want to be doing in your Leopard 1 is taking a... You don't want to be 1v1ing a 277 in a city in your Leopard 1. That's... The tank does everything really well, but it doesn't do that very well because you will end up getting shot and so on. It's just, that's not a good time, right? That's not a fight that a Leopard 1 wants to take. But it does look like our team has pretty well won the rails, the 9-0 line, and Carey has kind of single-handedly won the city. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to fall back, and you can see he's trying to help his team figure out, like, he knows the 277 is going to push forward. And he's trying to get the waffle on our team to back off, take a more defensive position. We'll see if he listens. It doesn't look like he's going to. Because, yeah, the Waffentrager is sitting on the hill with a bush between him and the lake, but the bush is not going to help him when the 277 comes from the city. That's what Carey is trying to help with. And we're trying to create a way to catch the push, right? This 277 is going to come from somewhere. Going to come from that area over there. So we're trying to provide some vision and just what the Leopard does, right? Because like it has great speed and great camouflage and great view range and a great gun. So it's almost like this is the time where it goes into tank destroyer mode. So now we're going to wait and see if we can't see the 277 coming, and then we get the first shot advantage. You tag him for, you know, 420 damage and pull behind the pull behind some hard cover before that 277 can even react. So now it's just it's a waiting game, and you know we're asking this the E75 to stay where he is. Like, we have a pretty good little setup here. We're down a tank somehow already, and the Progetto is backing up the E75. So we're just waiting. We're waiting for the enemy team to make a mistake, because the Waffentrager should have vision. He's on the backside of the hill there, but he'll have vision kind of along the inside the lake, I guess it would be, the little pond area in the middle. And Carey is asking the Waffle to move to a better position. Yeah, by the building. I agree. There's a hard cover and soft cover there, so that's really where you want to be, because you can use the bushes, you can use the hard cover to spot and not be spotted, and then you have some hard cover as well. So that is really the best place to be, and Carey has asked him to go there, and he went. It's amazing. This is a lot. You don't see this very often. You do not see teammates working together. But right now, you know, it's a little tense, and I think we're going to speed it up a little bit. Okay, so we have a 277 that has appeared, and this is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to spot that 277, and we're using bushes, and we're able to this guy just got owned because he took a very bad line. I mean, he didn't really have there are ways he could have approached this, but Carey and the team have cooperated in such a way that this is a pretty hard, like, it's not a very easy way to approach this team without being spotted and shot. And so that's working really well, and Carey's able to put a shot easily into the 4005. And again, he's using these bushes. You know, some of these have kind of been on accident, to be honest, but like, you're using the bush cover, and if the bushes are not transparent, then they are still providing camo, which is why he didn't get spotted from the 277, and he didn't get spotted from the shit barn. And so now he's trying to craft another angle on this shit barn, because the Waffle knows they know that the enemy team knows where the Waffle is. And so as soon as, you know, it's a good spot, but also depending on where the enemy team is, as soon as that Waffle tries to run or pulls out from around that cover, you're very exposed. So it's good in some ways, but very bad in other ways. And so the Waffle's going to be running, and Carey's going to use the mobility of the Leopard. Look at how fast it is. Look at how fast it is. And even this is without field mods. It's just faster now. It's even better. But Carey's using the mobility to try to clean up some of the outside here, and I think he's going to try to go all the way around and maybe see if he can't. I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest, Carey, it's been a little bit since I've watched this replay, so I've kind of forgotten what you do at the end. Oh, okay, let's pick some artillery. Some other artillery. Perfect. So now we've spotted both the artillery, but we're using bushes properly and make sure we don't get spotted by the arty. You can see that since the bushes are still they're not transparent, you can't see through them. That means they're still providing camouflage, so Carrie can go forward and spot the artillery and shoot them and not be spotted in return, probably. Right, they're still providing camouflage to us. High roll for 450, which is pretty awesome. You don't get to high roll and one-shot an artillery in a medium tank very often. So that 420 alpha is really pulling some weight. And again, we're at 7,500 damage, and actually more than that, because since we killed the artillery, the CGC, while it was unspotted, that damage isn't even counted. So we're probably closer to 7,800 and 6 kills, 5 kills, 6 kills. Pretty good stuff, right? And so the Progetto manages to take out the Yag Tiger. We're going to just try to see if we can't clean up the backside. It looks like the T-30 is spotted along the 0 line. It looks like, honestly, this team has just kind of pushed all haphazardly all at once, and the shit barn has been spotted. So since we're way over here now, we can just go ahead and pop rounds in, and this is easy. We just have to not get spotted from this Conway, which should be easy enough as long as we use bushes properly. Right, so Carrie doesn't want to turn this into a 1v1. Right, he doesn't want to get spotted by the Conway and get into a fight with him yet, because there's still a 4005 that could shoot him back. Right, so I think what Carrie's going to try to do is come back around and see if he can't use some camouflage to spot that shit barn and get just one more shot into him and kill him, and then it's easy mode for the then you just clean up the Conway at that point, right? So it's important to pick your battles. This is like chess, right? You're just trying to pick them apart one at a time, and as long as you can, whoop, 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 look at that. Oh man, so you're just finding mistakes that the team is making because they are all spread out and they're not in positions to support one another. Carrie was able to use his flexibility of the tank. He hasn't even been shot in the last little bit of this game, and able to clean things up. And so now we know where the Conway is. We're using these bushes. Wait. And oh my god, that's the first time the gun has failed Carrie the entire game. But again, because he's using bush cover, we're able to shoot and not be spotted, and shoot again. I'm pretty sure that one probably, yeah, that one hit him. But again, we're backing up to use bush cover again. And this is exactly how you want to do it. The last Leopard game I had showed a lot about this too, but this is exactly the same thing. You pull forward to go through the bushes to spot them, and then you pull back so you can't see through the bush to shoot, and that will maintain your camouflage rating. And again, this is one of those, just a perfect example of what a Leopard 1 is capable of. You know, when people say, oh, I'm in a Leopard 1, I've got a snipe. Well, not necessarily. You can play close in, just don't get shot. You can be a support medium tank. You don't need to be way back. You just have to be not the one getting the hits, right? Let your heavy tanks take the hits, and then you're an extra helper for them, an extra gun, basically. So we've got a minute and a half, and we're just gonna try to clean this up. Carrie shoots and gets the kill on the Conway at the same time the Conway snaps a shot and kills him. So an eye for an eye, I suppose. All right, so at the end of the game, Carrie ended up taking home 8 kills, 9,600 damage, 3,000 spotted, and that got him the Ace Tanker, of course, the eye for an eye medal for that end of the game engagement there. A Radley Walters, I think a Piscucci's for both the arty kills, the high caliber, tank sniper, top gun, just everything, just the works. And then also gave him, let me see here, 1,715 base XP, which is particularly incredible given the fact that he's a tier 10. If you may or may not know, if you're shooting tanks that are lower tier than you get less XP. So to get 1,700 base XP, obviously you saw the game. Carrie's put in work, so congrats to Carrie. And at the end of the game, let's see here, economically, he did cost himself some credits, but again, who cares? It doesn't matter. We're playing tier 10 not to make money, and you can see the money definitely, he definitely did not make money at this game. And he had a personal reserve going, or we lost even more, but who cares? Again, we're here for funsies, and we're here for winning. So what a game by Carrie. And thanks for sending the replay, man. Sorry it took so long. I think this is probably from like a year ago, but I got around to it like I said I would. And thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.